Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig Sports. Today is Sunday, October 31st, also known as Halloween, and this is going to be the NBA DFS video for today. So we're going to take a quick look back at yesterday's picks, see how they turned out, talk about the injuries in play for today's games, and then talk about my picks for both DraftKings and FanDuel. So without further ado, we'll get started. We'll talk about yesterday's picks real quick. So I'm just going to say this, first of all, yesterday was kind of a crazy NBA slate. Not a lot of action really happening. There's 10-game slates. I know even looking over on DraftKings, I was in a couple different contests. The top line that I was in only had 325 points. So it was a pretty low scoring day overall. And a lot of that was due to blowouts. There was a couple different blowouts here. There was a lot of things that people didn't expect. Me, myself, I played Julius Randle in a couple different lines. And of course, the Knicks score 122 points and he only has 10 of them. If I told you that at the beginning of the day, you would have called me crazy. But it is what it is when it comes to NBA DFS sometimes. So hopefully you guys had some of the right pieces in play yesterday. But on the DraftKings side, we had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. He was $7,300 looking for 37 points on him. Got to 26.75, so he's a mess. He played 29 minutes, not super effective, and this game was a blowout, so he lost like probably 5 or 6 minutes right there too as well. Cade Cunningham, $3,600, obviously his first game coming back from injury, number 1 overall pick in the draft. He ended up with 14.75 points, so he was a mess. He was actually on a decent pace at one point in time, but he only ended up playing 19 minutes in this game. They ended up getting up by 13 points late in the game, so then he didn't have to play like his last rotation, so he probably lost 3 or 4 minutes there. They said before the game he was going to be on a minutes limit between like 20 to 25 minutes. He ended up playing 19 overall. And then small forward, there was Joe Ingles, $4,700. Looking for about 24 points out of him. He got to 19. Just not the best day for him overall. He was 3 for 9 shooting overall. Between Donovan Mitchell and Jordan Clarkson, they both took like 46 shots in this game. Or between the two of them, they took 46 shots in this game. And that was half the shots that the Utah Jazz offense had as a whole. So there wasn't much left for Joe Ingles to get after that point in time. So a little bit unfortunate there. Aaron Gordon, $5,100 looking for 26 points out of him. He got 28, so he's a good hit there. And then Wendell Carter. He only played 17 minutes yesterday. He had 19.5 points. We were looking for about 29 out of him. So that Chuma Okeke returning from injury really killed him overall. So not the best day overall on the DraftKings side. Hopefully you guys had a couple of different pieces there that did pretty well as well. I got some exposure to that Pelicans game myself between Devontae Graham and a little bit of Jonas Valanciunas. Wish I had a lot more of Jonas Valanciunas, honestly, yesterday because he went off once again. But on the FanDuel side, we had Shai Gilgeous-Alexander once again. I'm looking for 36 points out of him at $7,200. He got 26. Same thing as over on the DraftKings side. Only played that 29 minutes, some blowout run there. Just wasn't that great overall. Jalen Suggs, though, $4,600. Looking for 23 points out of him. He got to 32, so he was a hit. And a pretty nice hit there altogether, too. And he only shot like 3 for 13, too. So like if he would have made a couple of shots, he would have been looking even better. Joe Ingles, once again, $4,700, looking for 24 points out of him, got to 15.2, so pretty much what we already said on the DraftKings side. Then got John Collins, $6,500, looking for 33 points out of him. He was a mess yesterday. He played 31 minutes. This game was actually a blowout, too, so he probably lost 4 or 5 minutes at the end of the game, too. Since he's been playing close to 35 minutes on average. He was only 3 for 9 shooting yesterday. Just didn't do a whole lot. Didn't have a lot of shots in this game. Just not a very good day for him overall, which is disappointing because he's been doing pretty well so far this season. Then last but not least, we had Domantas Sabonis, who we went back to after that rough game. $9,100, looking for 46 points out of him. He got to 48.8, so he was a hit. So overall, pretty hit or miss day, but given the landscape of NBA yesterday with all the blowouts and all the randomness to it, not the worst in the world because everybody else had the same luck yesterday too. So hopefully you had a couple of pieces that mixed together and got you a decent little lineup there. But with that being said, we'll get over to the injuries for today's slate. So there is the one early game. This is a 3:30 Eastern time game. And the Kings are all the way healthy. The Dallas Mavericks is Brown and Porzingis is game time decisions. Once again, we'll see if either one of them end up playing today. Obviously, if Porzingis doesn't play, then it opens up some more value. But you're either playing this on an all-day slate or you're playing on a single-game slate. So it's going to be a little bit different either way. For the Utah Jazz, Mike Conley is expected to return today. He was just kind of rest day yesterday. Rudy Gay has a chance to play in this game, so we'll see if he's back. This will be his first game of the season if he does end up playing. For the Bucks, Dante DiVincenzo out once again. Brook Lopez and Drew Holiday are both unlikely to play. For the Trailblazers, just Tony Snell is a game time decision. We'll see if he ends up playing or not. Norman Powell did return that last time out. Looks like Terry Rozier should be able to play today for the Hornets. Cross your fingers. Maybe not cross your fingers. I don't even know if we want him to play at this point in time. Probably opens up a little bit of value if he doesn't play. But if he does play, then all the value for the Hornets is pretty much killed, since everybody is essentially priced up with him being out for a while. Moving down to the Detroit Pistons, Livers and Smith are both out once again. For the Brooklyn Nets, Paul Millsap, Nick Claxton, and Kyrie Irving are all out. So two of those big men are out. So, you're looking at LaMarcus Aldridge, Blake Griffin, a couple of these other guys. They're looking a little bit better than they do before because there's less guys to go around to eat up some of those minutes at that, 4 and 5 position overall. You could see a little bit of James Johnson getting in the mix today, but probably not somebody I'm trying to attack overall. And then for the Rockets, John Wall's out once again. Daniel House is out. And then Kevin Porter Jr., game time decision. I believe he has an ankle injury. At this point in time, I'm not expecting him to play, so it'll be really interesting to see who they put in that starting lineup, whether it's a DJ Augustine, whether it's an Eric Gordon, or somebody else. If Augustine ends up starting, I do kind of like him as a play today since he's relatively cheap. If it's Eric Gordon, Jalen Green looking a little bit better, probably taking a little bit of those point guard, ball handling responsibilities over. And then maybe Eric Gordon's in play as well, too, but he's kind of streaky, so you know what you're going to get with him. Then for the Los Angeles Lakers, Nunn, Horton Tucker, and the Reeds are all still out once again. LeBron James and Wayne Ellington, both game time decisions, questionable to play. And then Anthony Davis is likely to play. But with that being said, that's a quick little rundown on the injuries for today's slate. Once again, it's a very small slate with it being a 4-game main slate. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to DraftKings and talk about my picks over there. So on the DraftKings side, we got George Hill at that point guard position, $4,000, looking for about 20 points out of him. That's essentially what he's averaging on the year. Last night we seen him play over 30 minutes. I do have him projected for about 21 points in this game. Could end up with a little bit more, could end up with a little bit less, but a relatively safe play on a day like today where it is that small game slate. There's not a lot of value to go around, so he's going to be a solid one overall. Shooting guard, we're going right back to Cade Cunningham. I know last night wasn't the greatest, but if he plays that 20 to 25 minutes, if he's on the higher end, closer to 25 minutes, 24 minutes, he's definitely going to pay off. $3,600, too good of a price tag to ignore. Looking for 18 points out. I'm going to project it for 21 at 24 minutes at this point in time. If he makes it a couple more shots today, he's definitely going to pay off for this price tag. Then small forward position, I got Chris Middleton, $7,500, pretty decent price tag overall. Looking for about 37, 38 points out of him. He's averaging about 36 so far on the season. Got him projected for 39 this one. Not the greatest matchup against the Utah Jazz, but should be a competitive back and forth game, so he should be out there more times than not. Then we move down to Jeremy Grant at that power forward position, $6,700. Looking for about 33, 34 points out. Averaging almost 36 on the season. And I actually do have him projected for 36, 37 points in this game. He's played very well so far this season outside of like one game. I know he missed one game due to injury, but he's obviously one of the main parts of this Detroit Pistons team. And I don't see any reason not to play him today. That price tag is just too nice at this point in time. Until he gets to like $7,000, we're probably just going to keep on playing him. Then at center position, we got Kelly Olynyk, who I did play in one of my better lineups last night. $5,400, looking for 27 points out of him. Seems like they prefer him to Isaiah Stewart when they're both not on the court. He's been getting more minutes lately. He's been like over 30 points, I believe, 3 of the last 4 games. So definitely a lot of upside there. He kind of factors into this game pretty nicely against the Brooklyn Nets as well. Probably going to be out there a decent amount when Blake Griffin is as well. So Kelly Olynyk's definitely in play for me today. I got him projected for about 28 points. There's definitely upside for more there as well. But with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the DraftKings side today, you have $22,800 remaining, $7,600 per player. So once again, you can spend up for a stud, whether it's a Giannis, a Kevin Durant, LeBron James, James Harden, whoever you want there. And then find like a mid-range play and a value play, or you can just kind of spread the wealth. Just mess around, see what works best for you. And I think it's going to be an interesting slate overall. But with these shorter 4-game slates, I do recommend not spending quite as much money since it's a little bit tighter and it's a little bit harder to break through on these types of slates. But at the same time, I'm not saying it's impossible either. And then with that being said, we'll get moved over to FanDuel and talk about my picks over there as well. So at the point guard position, I went with Jalen Green. As I said before, I do not expect Kevin Porter to start. If DJ Augustine starts, then I'm probably going to be off of Jalen Green. But if Jalen Green is starting as the de facto point guard, it's going to look a lot more interesting tonight. $5,800, looking for 29 points out of him. He's averaging 26 on the season. I got him projected for about 28, 29 points. I know it's not a very good projection compared to his price tag, but there's not a lot of value over on the FanDuel side, honestly. Then at the shooting guard position, I got Bruce Brown, $4,500. He was one of the favorite chalk plays last slate. Didn't quite hit for both sides technically, but he's $4,500. Got him projected for about 23 points. That's essentially what you're looking for out of him. There's no Millsap, there's no Nick Claxton today, so definitely should help out his minutes just a tad, but nothing too crazy. But if he gets 30 minutes, if he can perform at a 0.8 fantasy point per minute producer, that gets you 24 points, and that's all you're looking for out of him today. Then Robert Covington, whose price tag is down quite a bit. He paid off the last time out, though, $4,400. He had not been shooting the ball very well this season. Heck, the whole Portland team has not shot the ball that great this season either, since Damian Lillard has been struggling quite a bit as well. But you're looking for 22 points out of Robert Covington. I think he gives you a chance for 21 to 23 points. Looks like a solid, safe play on today's slate overall. Then we move down to Jeremy Grant once again, $7,400, so he's priced up a little bit more on the FanDuel side. You're looking for 37 points out of him. That's what he's been averaging on the season. Currently, I have him projected for about 36, 37 points, so paying off at that price tag pretty nicely. Then last but not least, at the center position, we got LaMarcus Aldridge, $4,800, looking for 24 points out of him, averaging 23 on the season so far. I do have him projected for about 26 points in this one, and he's played relatively well when given the minutes so far this season, and I expect him to get a good handful of minutes with some of those other big men missing tonight for the Brooklyn Nets. Then with that being said, if you go with these 5 players on the FanDuel side, you have $33,100 remaining, just under $8,300 per player, so you can probably pay up for 2 studs on this slate, then find some other value plays to pair along with them. But with that being said, these are my picks for both FanDuel and DraftKings for October 31st. Just want to wish each and every one of you a happy Halloween. Also, if you have any questions, be sure to leave them down in the comments below. I'll be leaving the starting lineups, the injury updates, and everything else down there as well. Then while you're down in the comments, also let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate. It can be for DraftKings or FanDuel. Heck, if you even want to throw Super Draft in there, if you want to talk some Super Draft, I can definitely do that as well. But with that being said, if you are new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. It helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS, whether it's NBA or NFL, helping you with your fantasy football teams. And then with that being said, if you are a newer current subscriber who's yet to do so, also hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. I post up daily NBA DFS videos just like this. And then I also post up fantasy football and NFL DFS content as well. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. It definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day and a very happy Halloween.